Welcome to your deep dive. Ready to turn that podcasting passion into some serious cash? We're diving into unrivaled business strategies to maximize podcast monetization, and let me tell you, it's not your average how-to guide.
Definitely not.
This whole mindset shift thing really jumped out at me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a biggie. Like, are we talking about a full-on identity crisis here?
Kinda, yeah. This source says, the first hurdle is all mental. You gotta swap hobby for business.
Ooh, scary business words.
But don't worry, it doesn't mean ditching the passion. It's about finding that sweet spot.
Okay, so how do we do that? Passionate podcaster who also knows their ROI.
Think of it this way. Your podcast, it's a product. What's a good product do?
Solves a problem, makes life easier.
Bingo. It nails a need for a specific someone. Your podcast, same deal.
So we're talking niche down, even if it gets a little weird.
The weirder, the better, I say. Imagine you're obsessed with, say, vintage typewriters.
Okay, niche, I'm there.
Now, your podcast. It's the vintage typewriter hub. You're not just geeking out, you're giving a community what they crave.
Turning my love of clicky keys into, like, a whole empire.
Exactly. And empires. They need diverse income streams.
Ooh, fancy. Like that saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
You got it. Sponsorships are great, but they can be shaky ground.
So what else can we build on, besides hoping that brand deal falls through the sky?
Think multiple streams of podcast cash flowing in. Affiliate marketing's huge, recommend stuff, get a cut.
Right, and that niche we talked about,
Yeah.
that's gold right there. People trust you, they trust your picks.
Exactly. Then there's premium content. Exclusive episodes, bonus interviews, all behind a paywall.
Merch always blows my mind. People are out here selling t-shirts with their podcast logo.
It's wild. But it proves a point. Build a brand, and the sky's the limit. Live events, workshops, you name it.
This is a lot to process, but it beats pinning all your hopes on one big sponsorship, right?
Absolutely. One stream dips. No sweat, you've got others.
Okay, I'm feeling more zen about this already. But multiple income streams mean multiple to-dos, right? Especially if it's just you running the show. Partnerships, that's where they come in.
You nailed it. It's like peanut butter meeting jelly, this source says.
Okay, what?
A good partnership, it's that perfect match. Your brand, their brand, working in perfect harmony.
So it's not just slapping a logo on your website. It's got to be deeper, right?
Maybe.
Values, audience, all that jazz.
Exactly. Everyone wins. Take that mental health podcast that teamed up with the wellness app.
Oh, right. From the source. They got a huge bump in listeners from that, didn't they?
Huge. Why? Because it made sense. Same audience, same vibes.
So how do we find these dream partnerships?
Well, here's the thing. This source says you can't just sit around and wait for brands to magically discover your podcast. You got to hustle a bit.
So much for that inbox full of offers, huh?
Think of it like podcast matchmaking.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
You got to find brands that vibe with your content, your values, but most importantly, your people.
My listeners, I mean.
Exactly. So let's say your podcast is all about, I don't know, sustainable living, composting, zero waste, all that good stuff.
Hitting a little close to home with that example.
Right. So you wouldn't partner with like a gas-guzzling monster truck rally.
Definitely.
You'd look for brands that walk the walk too. Eco-friendly, everything. Clothing, cleaning supplies, maybe even a local farmer's market.
Makes sense. Gotta practice what you preach.
100%. And this source, they talk about crafting a killer pitch, like a resume, but for your podcast.
Time to brag about those download numbers.
You got it. Show them why you're the catch. Lay out your listener stats, engagement rates, all that good stuff.
So confidence is key.
Confidence, but keep it real. Maybe you have crazy high listener engagement or a super active Facebook group. Whatever makes you stand out, shout it from the rooftops.
Rooftops, noted. Okay, so we've got the mindset, the money-making, the matchmaking. Now what about optimization? That feels techy and honestly a little scary.
I hear you. The source throws around SEO, keywords, all those buzzy terms.
Yeah, those.
But honestly, it's just about helping the right people find you. Think of it like this.
Like organizing my spice rack. Please tell me it's like organizing my spice rack.
Okay, not quite, but close. Remember how we said your podcast is a product? SEO is like putting that product on the right shelf in the store. So when someone's looking for what you offer, boom, there you are.
Findability, that's the word I was looking for.
Exactly. You could have the most amazing podcast in the world, but if it's buried under a million other shows...
It's like that tree falling in the woods thing, right?
Exactly.
Huh.
So understanding a little SEO goes a long way.
All right, convince me. SEO for dummies, go.
Okay, so first up, keywords. These are the words people type into Google when they're looking for podcasts like yours. Then you've got your episode titles and descriptions. Make them catchy. Use those keywords naturally.
So it's all about painting a clear picture.
Yes. And don't underestimate consistency. Regular episodes keep your listeners happy and tell those search engines you're the real deal.
Building that trust, episode by episode.
Exactly. Now, get this. This source also talks about the future of podcasting. And let me tell you, things are about to get seriously wild.
AI taking over the world, wild.
Maybe not that wild. But the source makes a really good point. Even with all this crazy tech, the heart of podcasting, it's not changing.
So we're still all about connecting with people.
100%. Just through a microphone, maybe with some fancy AI sprinkles on top.
AI sprinkles, I like the sound of that.
Right. AI might be able to edit your audio for you. Maybe even suggest episode topics based on what's trending.
Okay, that's kind of cool, not gonna lie.
And who knows, maybe we'll be hosting virtual podcasting parties in the metaverse someday.
Okay, that I gotta see. But seriously, this source said something that really stuck with me. Value, authenticity, genuine connection. That stuff never gets old.
So true. Think about the podcasts you love. What do? They make you feel something. They teach you something new.
It's like finding your people, you know? And that's powerful. It doesn't matter if you're listening on a potato or some high-tech gadget from the future.
You nailed it. And this whole deep dive, it's shown us how to approach podcasting with like a double lens.
Yeah.
Passionate creator, savvy business owner.
Best of both worlds.
Exactly. And you know what? You are your secret weapon. Your voice, your story. That's what makes your podcast special.
So invest in yourself, invest in your podcast. That's the message I'm taking away today.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that wraps up another deep dive. To our listeners, think about what makes your podcast unique. What lights you up? What stories are you bursting to share?
Find your people and get ready to connect.
Because turning your podcasting passion into a thriving, engaging, and yes, profitable venture, totally within your reach. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and most importantly, keep podcasting.